All right, guys, it's Jerningham here. Nigel Farage's speech with Trump will be okay, and compromise can be found on Brexit. Let's see what's going to go on here now.
Of course, you've met Donald Trump in person several times.
Nigel
How do you
Farage.
think he looks in the video that was released this morning?
Well, he's got COVID-19. He's been ill. I mean, he's been put into hospital. He's been on oxygen. But considering all of that, he looked pretty robust. It was 4 minutes, straight to camera. He looked pretty good, I thought. But look, the truth of it is, we know with this virus, it's 10 days in when you really know whether it's going to bite hard or not. So we're going to find out over the course of the next few days. He doesn't drink, doesn't smoke. He's carrying a few extra pounds, but he's generally in pretty robust health. So my guess would be he's going to be okay.
Do you have any knowledge of how the president is?
Sophy Ridgeway there, the news lady.
On Friday.
I was pointing to show you guys that
a family member on Friday. I won't reveal that. And they were obviously concerned. I mean, you would be concerned. If anyone gets it, you're going to be concerned. Look, truth is, we'll find out over the course of the next few days. In terms of his campaign, of course.
Just to ask, there's been lots of questions about the timeline, about when Donald Trump caught COVID and when he knew.
Yeah.
Did you find out any of that from the family members?
No, I mean, look, he went to Bedminster for that fundraising event on Thursday evening. He came back and tested positive afterwards. That's where the argument is. All I can tell you is that to get anywhere near Donald Trump, and I went to the Utah rally, Tulsa rally, his first rally in this campaign. To even get near Donald Trump, you have to be tested. So we saw those people in the Rose Garden hugging each other. Kind of when you've just got a negative test, I guess it makes you a little bit complacent, a little bit too relaxed. I don't believe for a moment that he knew he was positive until late on Thursday night.
Okay. Now, you obviously know Donald Trump relatively well. I don't know him at all, but he does strike me as the kind of character who would not want to go into hospital unless he really had to. Is that a fair assumption?
Yeah, I mean, of course he wants to. He's the alpha male. He always wants to give the tough guy image. Of course he does. So yeah, he must have had a few breathing difficulties. I don't understand that. There was a whole suite of officers at the hospital, so he can carry on with his work. Look, we can speculate all we like about how poorly he was on Friday when he went in. The fact is, we've seen him in this video this morning. We'll find out in the next couple of days how well or otherwise he is.
Now, Donald Trump has been accused of not taking COVID seriously enough, frankly. He mocked Joe Biden for wearing a mask. He compared it to the flu. He said once it affects virtually nobody. Do you think this is going to change his attitude?
Well, right at the moment, this puts coronavirus to the top of the agenda in the US presidential election, way above anything else. And that, of course, does not suit Donald Trump.
Because there are questions about his handling of it.
Of course there are. Of course there are. As there are, by the way, of every government in the Western world. I mean, they're all coming under criticism.
But if you look at the numbers specifically, there is issues in the US.
Yeah, no, I get that. So short term, this is bad for his campaign. It's bad because it puts COVID at the centre. It's bad because the accusations are that he was too lackadaisical. And it's bad because he can't come out and do what he's good at, which is rallies, campaigning, inspiring the troops, which he really is brilliant at. So at the minute, it's bad. But remember, 4 years ago, just before the second debate, we had some tapes released, the Access Hollywood tapes, where he said some very disobliging things. And for all the world, the presidential election was over. And yet, he's the Harry Houdini of politics. He recovered.
It's a bit different, though, isn't it? Don't you think?
No, because
tens of thousands of people are dying in the United States. They're not being able to send their children to school.
Well, you could argue that for any country in the world. The point is, if in 2 weeks' time he's back, fighting fit, he stands before the American public and says, "Look, I've had this. I've confronted it. I don't underestimate it, but we have to get on with our lives. Otherwise, the economic cost, the social cost will be even greater than the disease itself." If he's able to do that, all I'm saying is this. It's very easy for commentators to write off Donald Trump. He disproved everybody in 2016. This is not over.
While we've got you, I have to ask you about Brexit. Do you think we're going to get a trade deal?
I sense from the government's language over the course of the last few days, one or two of the things they've said about fisheries, some of the comments from Ursula von der Leyen yesterday, reminding Boris Johnson and the government that we did sign a new European treaty last year called the Withdrawal Agreement. I sense there'll be a compromise. I sense there will be a deal before the end of the year, and it's one that will not fully satisfy many Brexiteers.
Does that mean you could be back into the political
Well, let's see where we go with this. But I mean, if they completely drop the ball on Brexit, if we finish up stuck with a level playing field, unable to be competitive, then there are more battles to be fought.
I want to begin by thanking all of the incredible medical professionals, the doctors, the nurses, everybody at Walter Reed Medical Center. I think it's the finest in the world, for the incredible job they've been doing. I came here, wasn't feeling so
Twitter,
well. I feel
real
much better
Donald
now.
Trump.
We're working hard to get me all the way back. I have to be back because we still have to make America great again. We've done an awfully good job of that, but we still have steps to go, and we have to finish that job. And I'll be back. I think I'll be back soon. And I look forward to finishing up the campaign the way it was started and the way we've been doing and the kind of numbers that we've been doing. We've been so proud of it. But this was something that happened, and it's happened to millions of people all over the world, and I'm fighting for them. Not just in the U.S., I'm fighting for them all over the world. We're going to beat this coronavirus, or whatever you want to call it, and we're going to beat it soundly. So many things have happened. If you look at the therapeutics, which I'm taking right now, some of them, and others are coming out soon that are looking like, frankly, they're miracles. If you want to know the truth, they're miracles. People criticize me when I say that, but we have things happening that look like they're miracles coming down from God. So I just want to tell you that I'm starting to feel good. You don't know over the next period of a few days. I guess that's the real test. So we'll be seeing what happens over those next couple of days. I just want to be so thankful for all of the support I've seen, whether it's on television or reading about it. I most of all appreciate what's been said by the American people, by almost a bipartisan consensus of American people. It's a beautiful thing to see, and I very much appreciate it, and I won't forget it. I promise you that. I also want to thank the leaders of the world for their condolences, and they know what we're going through. They know what, as your leader, what I have to go through. But I had no choice because I just didn't want to stay in the White House. I was given that alternative. Stay in the White House, lock yourself in, don't ever leave, don't even go to the Oval Office. Just stay upstairs and enjoy it. Don't see people, don't talk to people, and just be done with it. And I can't do that. I had to be out front, and this is America. This is the United States. This is the greatest country in the world. This is the most powerful country in the world. I can't be locked up in a room upstairs and totally safe and just say, hey, whatever happens, happens. I can't do that. We have to confront problems. As a leader, you have to confront problems. There's never been a great leader that would have done that. So that's where it is. I'm doing well. I want to thank everybody. Our First Lady is doing very well. Melania asked me to say something as to the respect that she has for our country, the love that she has for our country. And we're both doing well. Melania is really handling it very nicely. As you've probably read, she's slightly younger than me, just a little tiny bit. And therefore, just we know the disease, we know the situation with age versus younger people. And Melania is handling it statistically like it's supposed to be handled. And that makes me very happy, and it makes the country very happy. But I'm also doing well, and I think we're going to have a very good result. Again, over the next few days, we're going to probably know for sure. So I just want to thank everybody out there, everybody, all over the world, specifically the United States. The outpouring of love has been incredible. I will never forget. Thank you very much.
Ready, set up, go! Turn your living room into a racetrack.
We welcome the Republican nominee, President Trump, and the Democratic nominee, Vice President Biden.
How you doing, man? I beat Bernie Sanders.
Not by much.
I beat him a whole hell of a lot. I'm
Not
here
by much.
standing facing you, old buddy.
Pocahontas would have left
Well,
2
I
days
tell
early.
you,
You would have lost every primary.
All he knows how to
on
do is
Super
hurt.
Tuesday. You got
Look,
very lucky.
here's the deal. I got very lucky. I'm going to get very lucky tonight as well. And tonight I'm going to
With
make
what?
sure, because
With what?
here's the deal. Here's the deal. The fact is that everything he's saying so far is simply a lie. I'm not here to call out his lies. Everybody knows he's a liar.
But you
I just
agreed.
want to
You
make
agreed.
sure.
You're the liar.
I want to make
You
sure.
graduated last in your class, not first in your class.
I want to make
Mr.
sure.
President, can you let him finish, sir?
He doesn't know how to do that. He has,
You'd be
you know,
surprised.
you pick
You'd be surprised.
the
Go ahead,
wrong
Joe.
guy, the wrong night at the wrong time.
Listen, you agreed with
Here's the
Bernie
deal.
Sanders to the
whole
manifesto.
idea-
Let
Now
him.
you're disavowing it.
There is no manifesto. Number
Please let
one.
him speak, Mr.
Number
President.
two.
You just lost the left.
Number two.
You just lost the left. You agreed with Bernie Sanders on a plan
Folks,
that's absolutely agreed
folks, do you
to,
have
and
any
under that
idea
plan,
what
that's
this clown's
socialized.
doing?
They call it
Mr.
do you
Medicare.
have any do?
Socialized medicine.
Mr. President,
Let people know.
He doesn't
You're
want
a
to answer the
senator.
question.
I'm not going to answer the question
Why would
because
you answer that
because
question?
the
You wanna
question
put a
is-
lot of
the
new
question
Supreme Court
is-
justices,
the
radical
question-
left.
Will you
Who
shut
is
up,
on,
man?
listen, who is on your list, Joe?
This
Who's
is
on your
so.
list?
right, gentlemen,
This is-
I think
This
we've
is
ended
so
this.
He's going to
unprecedented.
pack the court.
We have
I'm
ended.
not going to give a list.
We have ended this segment. We're going to move on.
A lot of people die, and a lot more are going to die unless he gets a lot smarter, a lot quicker.
So-
Mr. President,
Did you use the word smart? So you said you went to Delaware State, but you forgot the name of your college. You didn't go to Delaware State. You graduated either the lowest or almost the lowest in your class. Don't ever use the word smart with me. Don't ever use that word.
Oh, give me a break.
Because you know what? There's nothing smart about you, Joe. 47 years you've done nothing.
Let's have this debate.
And if you would have had, let me just tell you something, Joe.
No,
If you would have had the charge of what I was put through, I had to close the greatest economy in the history of our country. And by the way, now it's being built again.
See,
And
we're
it's
going to
going
get
up
to the
fast.
economy in the next segment, sir.
okay.
Oh, Mr.
Go
President,
ahead.
I'm asking you a question. Will you tell us how much you paid in federal income taxes in 2016 and 2017?
Millions of dollars.
You paid millions of dollars.
Millions of dollars.
So
yes.
not 750.
Millions of dollars. And you'll get to see it.
He says he's smart because he can take advantage of the tax code. And he does take advantage of the tax code. That's why I'm going to eliminate the Trump tax cuts. And
Well, why didn't
I
you do
can-
it over
Oh,
20, in the last 25
wait,
years?
no,
Because you
Why
weren't
why didn't
president.
you do it over
Because
the
you
last
weren't
25
president
years? No,
screwing
no,
things
no.
up.
You were a senator. And
You're
by
the
way,
worst
you were a
president
vice-
America has ever had.
Hey,
Come
Joe,
on.
let me just tell you, Joe. I've done more in 47 months. I've done more than you've done in 47 years, Joe.
Will you urge your supporters to stay calm during this extended period, not to engage in any civil unrest? And will you pledge tonight that you will not declare victory until the election has been independently certified? President Trump, you
I'm
go first.
urging my supporters to go into the polls and watch very carefully because that's what has to happen. I am urging them to do it. As you know, today there was a big problem. In Philadelphia, they went in to watch. They're called poll watchers, a very safe, very nice thing. They were thrown out. They weren't allowed to watch. You know why? Because bad things happen in Philadelphia, bad things. And
Are you-
I am urging my people. I hope it's going to be a fair election. If it's a fair
You're urging
election,
them what?
I am 100% on board. But if I see tens of thousands of ballots being manipulated, I can't go along with that. And I'll tell
And
you
what
what,
does that
from
mean?
a
Not
common
go along?
sense,
Does that mean
I'll
you're
tell
going
you
to
what
tell your
it means.
people to take to the
It means you
street?
have a fraudulent election. You're
And what are
sending
you
out
gonna do?
80
And
million
what would you
ballots.
do
They're
about that?
not equipped to. These people aren't equipped to handle it. Number one. Number two,
Okay.
they cheat. They cheat. Hey, they found ballots in a waste paper basket 3
So-
days ago, and they all had the name
All right.
military ballots. They were military. They all had the name Trump on them.
Vice President
think
Biden,
that's good?
Vice President Biden, final question for you. Will you urge your supporters to stay calm while the vote is counted, and will you pledge not to declare victory until the election is independently certified?
Yes, here's the deal. They count the ballots, as you pointed out. Some of these ballots in some states can't even be opened until Election Day. And if there's thousands of ballots, it's going to take time to do it. And by the way, our military, they've been voting by ballots since the end of the Civil War, in effect. And that's what's going to happen. Why was it not? Why is it for them somehow not fraudulent? It's the same process. It's honest. No one has established at all that there is fraud related to mail-in ballots.
Are you willing tonight to condemn white supremacists and militia groups and to say that they need to stand down and not add to the violence in a number of these cities, as we saw in Kenosha and as we've seen in Portland?
Sure,
Are you
I'm willing
prepared to
do that,
specifically
but
do it? Well, go ahead, sir.
I would say almost everything I see is from the left wing, not from the right
So
wing.
what are you saying?
I'm willing to do anything. I want to see
Well,
peace.
then do it, sir.
Say it. Do it. Say it.
You want to call them? What do you want to call them? Give me a name. Give me a
White
name.
supremacists
Who
and
would
right
you like me to condemn?
white supremacists and right
Proud
militia.
Boys, stand back and stand by. But I'll tell you what. Somebody's got to do something about Antifa and the left, because this is not a right-wing problem. This is a left-wing.
FBI director
This
said,
is a left-wing
threat white supremacists. Antifa's an idea, not an organization.
Oh, you got it.
Not militia. That's what his
It's an idea.
His
Okay.
FBI director
Gentlemen,
said.
well, thank you and good night.
Well,
Thank you.
that was very interesting of Donald Trump's speech, and this part we see here. There you go. And Joe Biden. Well, thanks for joining me in that video, guys and girls. Give it a like, give it a comment, and share it with your friends. And yeah, I'll be back into just more videos a bit later. I'm streaming probably tomorrow. I did pre-recorded videos. Anyway, guys, girls, see you next one. Peace. Thank you for joining me.